If you're a Raiders fan, then go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram at MitchellRents365. I keep you guys updated on news, rumors, and fact. Sometimes I give you guys updates before I even put them here on the show. I'm also going to be going live on Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, and I don't want you guys to miss it. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here, we got a lot of coaching rumors to go ahead, break down, digest, and I got to give you everything that's going on. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about here is something around Greg Olson. And earlier in the week, I said, face it, Greg Olson is no longer going to be the offensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders, because a lot of times when you go ahead and you bring in a new head coach, a.k.a. Josh McDaniels, then a new offensive staff comes in place. I also did a little bit of digging, and I'll be honest with you, I've never read Sherlock Holmes, but Greg Olson has been removed from the Raiders' official website. Now, they have yet to make a statement. I have yet to see anybody credible report this, but as it stands right now, Greg Olson's on the website. I said he wasn't going to be the OC, and yeah, I think his time in Vegas is done. Another person who was removed from the team website, offensive line coach Tom Cable. He was getting ready to get into his 5th season, and this was another dude who I said, hey, this is more than likely that he is not going to be able to return. When you talk about a lot of the Raiders' woes this season, you have to point the finger at the offensive line, at Alex Leatherwood. Now, last season, I thought Cable did a halfway decent job, but he also had guys like Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson. When you have veterans like that, obviously it helps you out a lot. But when you look at his entire track history, I don't know where Cable has been, but there's a reason why people now start going to YouTube. So I want you guys to go ahead and spam it, type fired, if you think that means both Tom Cable and Greg Olson are fired. I'm going to be typing fired. I better see 1,000 fires down in the comments section. Now, apparently these 3 guys are still on the staff as it stands right now from people that I've talked to. Gus Bradley, though Bradley did interview with the next DC for the Indianapolis Colts. Ron Marinelli, he's actually been linked to Chicago. And then Ron Milus. As much as I love Gus Bradley, and I don't mean this to be the wrong way, Bradley did a lot of great things, but the defensive coordinator that the Raiders are currently interviewing today, I like a lot. And if you could tell me we could potentially keep him and Ron Milus, I think that's a major win. Now, also to keep you guys up to date on some other of the coaching staff, Mayock's scouting staff that he brought in when he was general manager is still technically on the Raiders team, and they're actually going to be working at the Senior Bowl to kind of figure out some solid prospects there. The staff is also expected to watch the East-West Shrine game, which is going to be happening today in Las Vegas. Now, I know you're like, wait a minute, why is the old general manager staff working with them? It's because McDaniels and Ziegler literally said that they were going to take their time. They're going to interview everyone, hear what they have to say, and then that way make the best staff as humanly possible. The next thing coming up here is going to be around Sean Desai, and he is interviewing today to be the next Raiders defensive coordinator. For those of you that don't know a lot about Desai, he was a one-time defensive coordinator this past season for Chicago. They had a top 10 defense, and he is extremely well-respected. Champ Kelly, absolutely love him, who, again, he's our new assistant general manager. And the fact that they are interviewing him today, I personally think this would be a slam dunk hire. And I saw my guy, Raider Honcho, he tweeted out, he was like, dude, if he walks into the facility, don't let him go. You're right. If Desai comes in and you have an opportunity to get this guy with all of his connections, with his ability to connect with players, Khalil Mack could not speak enough about Desai and Champ Kelly. And when you see remarks like that, it makes me want this dude. So would Desai be a good defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders? I want you to go ahead and type G for good, type B for bad. You probably already know I'm going to go ahead and type my G for good because he is well respected. He's one of these younger minds, brings some pretty fun and creative defensive schemes. The other reason why I liked him, as bad as what the Chicago defense was, or offense was, the Bears were on the field a ton, and they still were a top 10 unit. When you talk about the Raiders offense, how bad they were near the end of the season, that's when a lot of those points started to get put up. What I liked about Desai was his ability to change be flexible, and really get after the quarterback, which is why I would like him as a defensive coordinator. Now, here's some of his coaching history, and we're going to go through everything. He was a defensive coordinator in 2021 in his very first stint. So think about it. First stint, top 10. Safeties coach in 2019 to 2020. Defensive quality control for Chicago from 2013 to 2018. He was the running back and special teams coach at Boston College back in 2012. Assistant director of football operations at the U in 2011. And then he was defense and special teams coach back in 2006 and 2010. One of the most important things that a lot of times people don't realize in terms of coaching is being a good teacher. DESAI'S also, and I don't have it exactly in front of me, is one of the smartest dudes in the NFL. Look at the amount of degrees he has. Look at the amount of teaching things that he has as well. He's not only going to be a good defensive mind, he's also a good teacher, which this Raiders team absolutely needs. Now, to make sure you guys never miss any news, rumors, if Las Vegas goes out and they hire Tad DESAI'S defensive coordinator, we're going to go ahead and break it all down for you. The next person that they decide to hire is an OC. As a DC special teams coach, I promise you, you're going to get a video here on the Raiders Report. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a thing. My other part of my job here is not only talking about news and rumors. It's when I see stories out on the internet and they start to get a little bit popular. And this one's from Pro Football, PFT. Yeah, Pro Football Take. What is their name? Yeah, I don't remember. Raiders would be the team to go out and hire Flores. It's Mike Florio, whatever the hell his name is. He has connections to McDaniels and Ziegler, and he was fired by the Miami Dolphins this year. For those of you that have been following this whole story, Brian Flores did not deserve to be fired. From what it sounds like, he got let go because he didn't want Tua around. Stephen Ross wanted them to lose games. Apparently, he was told that he would get $100,000 per loss. But Flores also goes back to his time with Ziegler back in 2008 to 2018. Those guys were together, and he was a very well-respected offensive name. So I'm not surprised that Flores is mentioned in this regard. I am surprised, though, that PFT literally said that the Raiders would only hire him to stick it to the NFL. That's one of the issues that Flores was talking about when he was trying to sue the NFL, that you shouldn't just go try to stick people, or just because he's an African-American man, that he should get a higher job or that he should get a interview because of a Rooney Rule. No, he should be hired because of his merit, because he's a good coach. So what do y'all think here? Should the Raiders go out and hire Brian Flores as defensive coordinator? Y for yes or N for no? I would actually love this hire personally. I think Flores is a very well-respected guy. He did a lot for the Miami Dolphins team. He's personally, in my opinion, a top 32 coach, which means he should have a head coaching job. He is still connected with the Houston Texans, but if the Raiders are like, hey, Brian, you want to come over and be the DC? Yeah, man, I'm absolutely on board for that. Y for yes or N for no? Valentine's Day, guys, it's right around the corner. And my favorite thing is when Alex is like, oh, what'd you get me for Valentine's Day? Little does she know she's about to get a Raiders t-shirt for Valentine's Day. Now, I also got her a few other little odds and ends, but maybe you want to get the special Raiderette in your life, something nice. Basically, at the link that y'all see below is a link to just a whole bunch of awesome women's Raiders gear. It's chatsports.com/Raiderettes. I'm going to put that link in the comments. It's also going to be in the description. It's also not just the gear that you see to the right of me or right over here. I mean, there's like hats, there's t-shirts, there's beanies, purses, slippers, all the good stuff. Basically, if you want to get something extra little special for your Raiderette, it's chatsports.com/Raiderettes. All right, we're also going to go over some more coaching news and rumors here circulating around Las Vegas. I talked about this yesterday when I did my video on Champ Kelly, but this is from Mike Kliss. Raiders are interviewing Broncos special teams coordinator Tom McMahon. Today, per source, him and Josh McDaniels were on the same St. Louis Rams staff back in 2011. If I'm being 100% honest, y'all, I don't really like this move. And would I be surprised if McDaniels did it? No, because of his connections before. Now, he does have some solid NFL experience, and he does have some experience as a special teams coordinator, which you can see here: Broncos, Colts, Chiefs, Rams, assistant special teams coach for the Atlanta Falcons. He also has worked a little bit in college as well. I just think if you're going to go with the tree of guys who used to previously work with McDaniels, you might think I'm crazy here, but Joe Judge, former head coach of the Giants, who just got fired, he was actually a very well-regarded special teams coach back in New England. I personally would like that hire more than this one. And then another move that ended up happening yesterday late, but the reason why I didn't make a video on it is because down here in Dallas, Texas, We have a ridiculous amount of ice for this area. And yeah, even though I'm from central Pennsylvania, people down here in Dallas, they don't know how to handle the ice. So actually, I'm the only one in the office as it stands right now. I got Jack. He's actually at home producing the video. We wanted to be able to give you guys the content, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to put anybody at our office in jeopardy. So he was hired Wednesday night, and he was the former offensive assistant for the Patriots, previously served as a quarterbacks coach for the Dolphins. He is tied together with the whole Adam Gase regime, and I know anytime you mention Adam Gase, people definitely get a little bit worried because he was an absolute disaster in Miami, an absolute disaster with the New York Jets. However, people who are close to Bo and everybody that talks about, or everybody close to the Raiders, Ziegler or McDaniels, they can't say enough kind things about Bo Hardegree. So hopefully he comes in, works really hard, and gets us to the next level. The final thing I'm going to talk about here is around former Raiders cornerback Damon Arnette. This guy just can't seem to stay out of the headlines for the wrong reasons. I knew that he was never going to be worth a first-round pick, but I never thought he'd be out of the NFL as quickly as he is. And I get the fact that he wanted to be a rapper, he wanted to be a gangbanger, but at the end of the day, this is a young man who is throwing away his life and desperately, desperately needs help. Arnette was accused of pointing a gun, and apparently it was a semi-automatic rifle, or a semi-automatic weapon, excuse me, at a Park MGM valet last week. Now, if you guys remember, he was released by the Raiders, then went to the Dolphins. The Dolphins released him. Then he was signed to a futures contract with the Chiefs, and because of his incident last week on Friday, he was released by the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, when you talk about Arnette, he also had some issues with some valet parking assistants last year as well. I don't know if it's the same guys. I don't know if it's the same people. But you have to be an absolute idiot to point a weapon at another human being, especially another valet parking assistant. Apparently also, on top of carrying a weapon and pointing it at somebody, he was also carrying cocaine and marijuana. This is a guy who just can't seem to stay out of his way. Damon, go seek some help before you find yourself behind bars. That's all the news and rumors I have for today. Make sure you guys stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And if there's any more breaking news that happens around the Raiders, we're going to be giving you guys a video. So hit that sub button and make sure you guys turn on those notifications.